morning. I'm Judith Richard. I'm the broker-owner of Perfect Choice Properties in Concord. And my guest today is Dave Cassavaugh from Advanced Home Inspections.
Good morning, Judy, and thanks for having me here.
I am so delighted to have you here.
Thank you. Let me tell you a little bit about my background and what we do in a home inspection. My background is I spent 30 plus years of my life as a renovation contractor and a home builder. Today, what we do at a home inspection is, I call it threefold. We do the major structure and components of the buildings. We also do safety updates and make recommendations towards safety products that may not have been required when the house was built, but today are. And we will do a maintenance list, usually that we see small things that will need some attention in the near future. Typically it's a visual inspection is the type of inspection we do. We cannot do any damage to the property whatsoever. It is not the buyer's property at that moment. It is somebody else's property who is giving us permission to be there. It takes us about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to do a thorough home inspection, sometimes longer, depending on how many issues we find, or basically also how old the building is. Many times when we produce our findings, we put it into a report, usually has a photo that describes what the issue is alongside a paragraph stating what the issue is as well. We feel between the statement and the photograph, it's a fairly clear representation of the items we find that are deficient within the home.
So, let me ask you this. You said it was visual only. So you don't take the siding off to look underneath. Is that correct?
We cannot remove anything that's permanently installed. We do open cabinets. We do take off accessible panels. We open up electrical panels to ensure the integrity of the systems. However, anything that's been permanently installed in the building cannot be taken apart by the home inspector. It's kind of a great limitation coming from a builder's background, because we do know sometimes there are problems behind things, and we do our best to assess the building in its entirety, and sometimes can define added evaluation would be needed. But we cannot do that at that time of the inspection.
Okay, so you're opening the cabinet, so you're looking underneath the sinks to kind of see if there's anything dripping underneath there or needs to be addressed, but you're not taking down any sheetrock or wallboard or whatever you want to call it.
That's correct.
To see what's going on behind that.
That's correct. We only can make a deduction that if there is physical damage on the exterior, there is possible further damage. That's about as broad a statement as we can make in defining something that may be added. We also climb into those dark and crappy little spaces, and it would be nice if the people who were selling would take the cobwebs away before we got there, but we do it.
Oh, well, that's an interesting thing. That's a very good point, so I think I will remember that next time I'm going out on a listing appointment. Yeah. Clear the cobwebs for the home inspector.
That would be preferable. But we do climb into crawl spaces. We do climb into attic areas so that we can get the best view of the area as possible. And there are guidelines that govern how we do that.
Okay, that's great. Answer this for me then. It's a little tiny space and they want you to get up in there. Is that always feasible? Do you have to? I would assume maybe based upon the loan for somebody, you got to have a headshot of the attic area. Is that right?
And that's a good question, because if it's such a small space that we can hardly fit through, we are not required to go through.
Okay.
We have a size limitation that says 2 feet high and 16 inches wide. If the opening's less than that, it is up to the inspector whether he deems it safe for him to do so. If he deems it unsafe for any reason, we are not required to do it, and we will not do it. We certainly don't want to be injured during an inspection as well.
Or stuck.
Where
they're calling the fire department. Please get the inspector out of the attic.
And sometimes when I talk to other offices and realtors throughout the years, I have asked them to, if they don't see their home inspector for 45, 50 minutes, please go take a look, because there are instances where you can get into a position where you get stuck. And we would not be able to contact you because we can't access any of our phones or abilities to do so. So yes, that is a concern. That's OSHA regulated, by the way, these areas.
I did not know that. Very interesting. So I'm going to reiterate that. For those of you that are watching out there, if your home inspector is on the property and you have not seen him or her within the last 45 minutes, go find them. They could be stuck. I never thought of that. If you're the seller's agent, the buyer's agent, you're just there, and now I think I'll be more cognitive of that. Thanks for sharing, Dave,
You're
and
very
thanks for
welcome.
coming today. Appreciate it a lot.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being here.
Have a great day, everyone.